Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today our adventuring party has been sent on a quest to investigate a prison camp outside of town. Very similar to the city of Waterdeep, and Vajra the Blackstaff has sent her young greyhands out to a men's farm because there's some strange happenings out there. When they finally arrive, they see this very dark cloud over a men's farm. The central building is shrouded in some mystery, and something very strange is going on. There's now this black ichor-like moat going all the way around the farm. The only way to get across to see what's going on is a stone bridge, but the stone bridge is outlined with gargoyles. Today we're going to reach back into history once again and pull out a trap from Grimtooth's traps. This is called the Gargoyle Bridge. So here is how the trap goes. Again, where you come up the road here, our adventuring party has a 40-foot long bridge, probably about 10 feet across, and it raises up a little bit to the point where on the ledge are 4 gargoyles on this side and 4 on this side. Now, what I did when I ran this is I put the gargoyles here, all had red eyes. The ones here had yellow. The ones here had blue. And then we repeated with these gargoyles having red eyes. And the gargoyles directly across from them also had the same colored eyes. So this one has red, yellow, blue, and then red. Now, if the adventurers were to get close to this ichorous moat, then they would see some type of tentacles coming out, and almost like they're trying to snag them. So if they kind of start making their way around the moat, and the closer they get, the more active these tentacles come and try to drag them in. And in fact, if they let them, the tentacles will actually wrap around them and suck them into the moat. Now, the way that this trap works, let's say that there are 4 adventurers, and as they come out onto this bridge, I'll allow them to make a perception check, and I'm probably going to make this at least a DC of 20 to see if they see anything. And if they do see what I have planned, they will only see 1. So let's say they do not see this. They do not make the DC check. What's going to happen is they're going to come out here, and I'll probably wait for 2 of them to get on the bridge. And as they do, they're going to feel something tighten around their leg. And let's take this gargoyle here with the yellow eyes, for example. This gargoyle here is going to take off into the air, and behind it will be the adventurer being towed behind. And so we've got something kind of like a lasso trap, where this cinches up tight around the adventurer's ankle. So this is just lying on the bridge, and it's very hard to see. It's camouflage because it's the same stone color as the gargoyles and as the bridge. I would almost say it's like the gargoyles are fishing. Again, there's this lasso-like thing here, and they grab an adventurer, they pull them up into the air, and drag them across. And the way that I use it in my game is I use this moat as a teleportation device to put the characters inside of this building here, which contain prison cells. And then after that, we ran a prison cell escape. So we had an escape from prison type of a thing in here, where we ran a puzzle and all kinds of fun stuff. Now, this bridge is going to be fairly narrow, so there's, with the 8 different traps, chances are pretty good that one of the players are going to step into the trap and get pulled out. Now, if they do get a perceptive roll of DC 20 or higher, I will probably allow them to see at least these first 2, maybe the first 4 traps, and then make another check when they get to the halfway point to see if they make other ones. Now, of course, if any of the players try to touch these gargoyles or do anything to the gargoyles, they're all going to come to life. And the way that I would run it is these gargoyles are going to try to just ram them and push them over the bridge. So if they come to life, let's say someone tries to take the yellow eyes out of this gargoyle, they made the DC check where they missed the trap, then this one's going to come to life, and it's just going to go full board into this one to push it into the ichor. And once this character here starts to fall overboard, these black tentacles will snag them and pull them down into the moat. Now, one more thing about this trap is the red, yellow, blue, red eyes do not mean a darn thing. Now, we can make these maybe fairly semi-precious gems, maybe worth 10 to 20 gold pieces a piece, but as far as the trap goes, they have no relevance, just to probably pull in the characters and make them think that something else is going on with those. Now again, this is my modified version of the trap that you'll find in Grimtooth's traps. Now the original version did have the stone colored ropes with the slip knot noose at the end, which was designed to grab a character's foot as they walked across, but instead of coming to life and dragging the character into the ichorous moat, the original trap designer simply had, when they did step into this, that this gargoyle would just fall over into the chasm or into the water below. So it's just a very heavy weight, and now that character's foot is tied up into that rope, and they, let's say this is water, they plunge into the water, and now they have to get the rope and untie their foot. Now, as a little bit of a red herring on the trap, in my version, I went with the different colored eyes of each gargoyle. The original trap creator had gargoyles flying in the sky above. So in an attempt to take the player's mind off of these creepy looking gargoyles on the bridge and try to make them more aware of what was going on up in the sky. So that's the Gargoyle Bridge from Grimtooth's Traps 2. And again, I modified it a little bit because I wanted a reset button. It's almost as if the gargoyles are fishing. If they miss a character or if they take an NPC, drop it into the moat, I want them to be able to come back out onto the bridge, cast their line back out there, and wait for the next fish or the next, NPC or PC to come along. Now, I have run this in my Dragon Heist campaign, and it actually worked fairly well. 3 of the 4 members of the party are members of the Grey Hands, and the 4th one has the patron of Kalar Argent, and Kalar wanted the warlock to get rid of this demonic threat, and Vajra the Blackstaff wanted her 3 Grey Hands to come out and get rid of this threat, so they, of course, came out there. I believe they were level 3 or 4, and as they crossed the bridge, the first one, Nicodemus, immediately he was yanked up by the rope, and the gargoyle drug him over the ichor. The tentacles came up out of the moat, wrapped around him, and sucked him down in. Now, after that, of course, the rest of the PCs are worried about their friend, and I believe the gargoyles came to life at one point, and they pushed the other 2 characters, Miralith and Hugin, and they were hanging from the side of the bridge. I gave him a dexterity saving throw, I believe. It's been a while, so my memory's not the best, but yeah, I believe they're hanging from the side of the bridge, and these black tentacles were coming up and starting to wrap around their body, trying to get through it. I think I let him make some type of a check to get back on top. Long story short, Hugin, the druid, got sucked down underneath and was teleported into the prison, and then Miralith I believe he tried to tie himself off. He put a rope around him and was trying to do some really cool stuff to go down and find his friends, but alas, he also was dragged down into the ichor, and that left our warlock Zell, who at that point could have just turned around and went back to town and gave up, but he didn't do that. He kept going, made it all the way across the bridge, and we actually officially split the party. So with this trap, I had 3 of them in a prison cell, which I was able to try out one of my new puzzles that's going to be in my book that's coming up, which is an escape from a prison, and I was able to run out with those 3 while Zell the Warlock was by himself, and he went in through the building not knowing that his friends were still alive, and he was trying to finish the mission, find the demons, and destroy this evil. So that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of a D&D story with this trap, and I hope you liked the trap. I found it interesting, and again, I modified it from the original version to fit what I wanted to do. So with that being said, how would you modify it? How would you change it? And how would you use this in your game? Also, another important question for you, is this too much railroading for you? Do you not like a trap like this where you're funneling your players in and they have to go? Or are you totally fine with this? I mean, sometimes we need the characters to face an obstacle. Now, of course, with that being said, higher level characters could have a fly spell or a dimension door or things of that nature. I'm not sure if Misty Step, I think it's a 30-foot range instead of 40-foot. I could be wrong. I'll have to look that up later. But perhaps they do have a method for one or two of them to get across, and the other two have to make it across the old-fashioned way. So that could be fun as well. But I'm interested to see your thoughts as a player. How would you, if confronted with this situation, how would your character try to get across? Would they actually try to do it, or would they just turn around and say, I'm out of here? And how would you, as a DM, run this for your players in your game? So that's all I have for you today. Before we go, just a reminder, I have opened up a Patreon, so if you'd like to support this channel, that would be really cool, and hopefully I'll get some levels for patrons in the near future. I'm still working on that and trying to figure out what I want to do with the Patreon. Also, if you want to chat with me and a bunch of great people, do you need help and advice, or just want to chat about D&D or puzzles or traps or whatever you want, make sure you join my Discord channel. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to comment. I'm looking forward to see how you would run this trap or how you would get around this trap. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and on to the next.